I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you, Roxy. Lagos was a place where almost everything seemed broken. I grew up under a military dictatorship, and I would never have believed that 40 years later, I would be standing here as the leader of the world's most successful political party in the history of Western democracy. I was lucky in my experiences. I was born to a relatively wealthy family and had a decent education, but I also know what it is like to be poor. I watched my family become poor as their wealth, income, and savings were inflated away by destructive government policies. But they didn't call it socialism, but it definitely was. Capital controls, no freedom of movement, government owning the means of production. And there was no freedom either. The government decided which school your child went to, it decided which businesses could or could not operate, all the way to arrests with no trial and state-sanctioned murder. So I know what freedom looks like. It's what I had in the UK. I know the values that can make citizens wealthier and happier, and how without them, they become engines of misery and despair. Classic liberal values, not left-wing liberalism, but classic liberalism of free markets, free speech, free enterprise, freedom of religion, the presumption of innocence and trusted institutions within the rule of law, and equality under the law, no matter who you are or where you come from. All of those things were missing when I was growing up as a child. So I know their value, and I know that in the West, we may be losing what made our countries great.
All right, so once again, Nigerian government and Kemi Badenoch done the put leg for one trouser. You remember Kemi Badenoch now? In case you don't know her, Kemi Badenoch is a Nigerian. In fact, she's a Yoruba woman. But she went to UK and, joined politics. And by the grace of God, in the recent time, she won the leader of a consecutive party in the United Kingdom. All right, this party is doing well in UK, so she became their leader. So she became their leader. Nigerian government has been trying to, beg her to do one or two favors for them. And the woman say, I no do, oh, I no go do. I no go do, oh, I no go do. Now, so this woman, they sing, say, I no go do. Remove my name from Nigeria. Remove my name. The woman was just saying, remove my name from Nigeria. I'm not a Nigerian. To the extent that the vice president of Nigeria, Shetima, came out on a national news and said, Kemi Badenoch, go and remove Kemi from your name so that we know you are not a Nigerian.
Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party. We are proud of her, in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She is entitled to her own opinions. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name. But that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria. 1 out of every 3-4 black men is a Nigerian. And by 2050, Nigeria will surpass the United States, will be the 3rd most populous nation on earth. 1 out of every 3 black men will be a Nigerian.
And did you know what happened? This woman came back and replied Shetima. He said, I am a Yoruba woman. I no go remove Kemi from my name. I'm a Yoruba woman. I'm not a Nigerian. You see, for this country, wahala no dey finish. Wahala, they finish for this country. So, honestly speaking, it has been a trending news in the recent time, and the woman has come out to say a lot of things. And let me also remind you or tell you one of the things that the woman said. She said, and I believe she spoke out of experience. Of course, she did. She said that when she was living in Lagos, that, policemen met them somehow, and before you know it, policemen extorted from them. Policemen took their sandals, took their clothes, collect their money, and, it was just quite crazy. And she's sure that up to today that thing is happening in a country where police that is meant to be protecting lives and properties of people are the people now, doing otherwise. So how do you want her to, defend such country? Now, apart from the issue of police, that the government is as corrupt as anything. She said it. She said it. And so she said, I can't remove my name. I don't want anything in Nigeria in my leadership place. I don't want. So the thing has actually provoked Nigerian government, and they are calling her all sort of names and, saying all kind of things about her. But the woman insisted that, Oga, me, anything concern Nigeria, I know do. So please, I'm going to allow you to watch this analysis that Arise TV gave about her, all right? But before you watch it, I want to ask a very simple question. Please be honest. You're watching this video now. Probably you are in Nigeria, or even if you are outside, but you have been in Nigeria before and you know how Nigeria is. And you have the opportunity to go outside Nigeria, probably to go to Europe, and you have the opportunity also to stay there all the rest of your life, or you have the opportunity to stay there as long as you want. Would you want to defend Nigeria? Knowing fully well what is happening in Nigeria, would you want to defend Nigeria? Would you want to associate yourself and come out in the public and say, hey, I'm in Nigeria? Would you want to do that? Knowing exactly what is happening in Nigeria, would you? Drop your comment on the comment section. I want to know. I want to know. So that from your comment, we will know whether this woman is doing well, if she is doing right or not. But before then, as you are watching this video, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, right? In case you're coming across my channel for the first time, subscribe, all right? But let me allow you to watch this video. The analysis that Arise TV gave on about this woman. Anyways, let me allow you to watch it.
Kemi Badenoch has responded to Vice President Kashim Shettima after he criticized her for denigrating Nigeria. While reacting to Shettima, the spokesperson for Badenoch said the politician stood by her statement and that she is not interested in laundering the image of Nigeria before she was elected leader of the Conservative Party. Badenoch described Nigeria as a socialist nation brimming with thieving politicians and insecurity. She also said she grew up in a place where fear was everywhere.
I was born here, but I grew up in a place where fear was everywhere. You cannot understand it unless you've lived it. Triple checking that all the doors and windows are locked, waking up in the night at every sound, listening as you hear your neighbors scream as they are being burgled and beaten, and wondering if your home will be next.
All right. I mean, I don't know. You were just saying you don't remember this happening in Nigeria. She left when she was 16. I mean, there was a time where there was armed robbery. Armed robbery was rife, and Nini, and all of that. But I think that there is an issue when people in power, be it Kemi Badenoch or Davido, come out to denigrate Nigeria. Then it becomes a huge conversation. People like you, me, and you, Ayo, we can say, you government people, you're not doing well. You're not doing well. You're not doing well. But when it comes from people like Kemi Badenoch, then it's an issue. But her response has sparked reactions on social media. I'll take one reaction. This person wrote, "The truth often hits the wrong side here. Speaking truth is always labeled as denigrating the country. It's impossible to repackage what inherently cannot be packaged. Shettima and friends should fix up." Rufy.
See, this is what we are saying. We're talking about an Okuton. We're not saying I talk about the problems of Nigeria. All right. I'm not saying we have a perfect system. The UK too is not perfect. In Oxford Street in England, OG, I can't take my phone and be making a call. I'll be walking on the street.
Yes.
You know who they call the moped drivers, the moped riders? They'll come, they'll snatch your phone and yank it away. I've seen people brutally beaten on the streets in England.
Of course.
I've seen all sorts of assaults. Even when I'm in the UK too, there are some areas I can't go in the UK that I'm scared of because of knife crimes. Do you have that? Yes.
There's knife crime in the UK.
Yes,
absolutely.
But also, they are great. And for Kemi, that lives a sheltered life. If what they said about her was to go by, stayed in the University of Lagos, went to ISL, it was a pretty much sheltered life. So what is she fussing about? But this is the same Nigeria. Ayo, please let me read that thing again. This is the same Kemi. Let me show you what she said about Nigeria in 2010. Read it again.
Tomorrow is right.
In when she was campaigning to represent Dulwich, which has a good representation of Nigerians in Dulwich, and where she was leveraging her Nigerian heritage. And this is what she had to say. She said that, I'll skip a few things. She said, like you, I am sick and tired of reading that Nigerians are fraudsters, terrorists, bombing airplanes or slaughtering each other in places like Jos. Then she says, my promise to you is this. And she makes three promises. If I get elected as a legislator, I will use whatever influence I have to speak out against those who are cheating and robbing Nigeria and who seek refuge for themselves or their money in the UK.
Wow.
Speak out against the UK backing any individuals harming Nigeria too. 3, fully support and help to publicize genuine grassroots initiatives such as Light Up Nigeria, where the next generation of Nigerians is trying to change things for the better. This is a chance to have someone with real influence over British-Nigerian relations.
Okay,
It will not be about
let the pastor imam take over from there.
Let me moderate. Hold on. Okay. Yes, she said those things, right? We're still waiting. I mean, let's see that those 3 steps. Wait, hold on. Those 3 things that you read out. How she wants to highlight Nigeria and all of that.
Yeah.
Great. But she did say that she's tired of hearing the bad things about Nigeria. That's what I've read. Yeah, so we're waiting. Let's see if she will change. Because these things that she said, it was before she became conservative leader, right?
She was
right.
No,
is that right?
Yeah, this was before.
This video I just played was way before she became a conservative leader, right?
After she became, she also said some things that were not correct. In fact, there are shocking things. Sorry, Ufai. There are shocking things. The New Telegraph has a piece on her.
Backing anybody.
Well, that's the New Telegraph has a piece on her where she actually says that she recalls the days where she was cutting grass, that we don't have lawn mowers, that when she was cutting grass, that she can still feel the blisters on her hands. She made very denigrating statements about Nigeria, even after she became leader of the party.
So, as I was saying, God bless you. But the truth has to be said, Oji. What she's doing, she's playing politics.
Yes.
That's just it, and I'm shocked that people can't see through all of this.
No, we see it.
After all of this shit she said, now she's pivoted to the war now criticizing socialism in Nigeria, and you saw Kemi is just a bloody hypocrite.
Yes.
Wow.
Is Britain not a socialist nation? Do people go out and work in Britain? Don't they live on welfare? So what's the problem? Has socialism not done its own good in society?
Yeah.
So this lady like Dr. Badenoch is just an anti-Jemima and Uncle Tom and all of that, you know. And if you go and read the article by Fani Kayode, he has really berated her for what she is.
Yeah.
She's just a social climber. She's been able to use this narrative. Why about she not going out to blame the right-wing nationalists that are causing chaos? Do you see what the right-wing nationalists they do in England? How they assault people? How they racially abuse people? How they cause riots in society?
But you know, the spokesperson said that she's not here. She's not going to launder anybody's image. But you know,
Davido whiskey is good PR for us.
I don't know why it's necessary. I mean, Kemi has been speaking. Shetima felt the need to respond, but I liked what he said, and I like what he said. He said, you know, in India it's so much poverty, but you never saw Rishi Sunak come out to denigrate India the way
it's different.
On April 7, 1775, Samuel Johnson uttered a very famous quote, and he said that patriotism is the last refuge of this scoundrel. Now, Samuel Johnson was not saying don't love your country. It supported the idea of love of country. But what he was criticizing, the emphasis is on the word refuge. This group, there's something called group psychoanalysis, whereby people think, oh, all of us should take one position. And then the other, who is different in terms of opinion, is demonized. In other words, what I'm saying, you know, although it sounds theoretical, is that, look, people will always have different opinions.
Of course.
And what I said yesterday when you brought up this topic was to say simply that, yes, for every Kemi Badenoch, we thank God that there are many others who are abroad, who may have jackpot, who are still proud of their country. And second, which is the point I made earlier today, I said, look, yes, if this is the situation, how do we take this as a challenge to make our country better, so that some of our children who relocate abroad, who choose another aspect
would like to come back,
will not look back at their country and talk down on their country. I think this is a great country, as the Vice President pointed out, but all of us, we need to be in a situation where we'll be very proud of this country.
Of course, drop your comment on the comment section what you think about it, all right? Thank you, and I can't forget to say, may God continue to bless you.